Hey, this is your favorite tech with another tutorial. Be sure to check us out on our website or text us if you need tech support. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Windows 11 on VMware Virtual Machine. You can actually install Windows 7 or Windows 10 as well the same way, or Windows 8. Just follow the instructions. All right, let's get started. We're going to go to Start menu and search for VMware. Go ahead and download VMware and install it and activate it, and go ahead and go to it and run it. Next, we're going to create a new machine by clicking here, and it's going to ask you, do you want to do a custom or advanced? Just to keep this a simple tutorial, we're going to click typical, press next, and then we're going to be selecting ISO, which is where we're going to be getting our file from. So if you have Windows 10, if you don't, you can go to the description and download Windows 10 for free from Microsoft's website. Or if you already have your own ISO, you're going to go ahead and select the second option, and we're going to browse and select it. All right, now we're going to browse to our actual Windows file. We're going to click browse, and I actually have mine saved on a separate hard drive just to isolate where I save this stuff at. You can technically save it wherever you want. So here's my Windows 11 file, 64-bit. All right, now we're going to press next. It's going to be 64-bit. I want to make sure that I name it Windows 11, so when I load it up on the virtual machine over here, I know what it is. I also keep the 64-bit for I can know how many bits the software is, so you definitely want to do that. There's going to be a default place they store your virtual machines, usually in your documents. However, I want mine on my separate hard drive. You can store it wherever you want, just to know where it's at consistently, and I want it inside of VMware saves. Then we're going to press next. In this next section, we're going to decide how much space do we want to allocate for our disk size of our VMware. A lot of that's going to be dependent on what you're doing on VMware. If you're going to be downloading lots of files that are going to be stored in your digital environment, then you may want to add more space. If you're just using it simply for maybe browsing the internet within a virtual machine, then you may not need as much space. All right, so we're going to go ahead and allocate around 100 gigabytes to there. As far as how you want to store the files, if you store it as a single file, a unified file gives you overall better performance, but obviously that one file would be larger and hard to move. However, if it's split, it'll be easier to move, but maybe produce basically less functionality or less performance. So since I'm not planning on moving my VMware, I'm going to store it on virtual disk as a single file. That way I can maximize performance in the virtual environment. In this next section, we're going to have customized hardware, and basically what this is you're letting your computer know what type of hardware do you want. What do you want for us? Your hard disk size, how much memory do you allocate it? So you're going to go ahead and click customize hardware, and I want you to really just think about what you're going to be doing in your virtual environment. Are you going to be hooking up a printer in your virtual environment? If you are, then you're going to want to include that. Are you going to have a display? Clearly, you're going to need that. Is there going to be sound and video and audio getting played in your virtual environment? If it is, then you're going to need that. Are you going to be hooking up any USB devices that will interact in your virtual environment? Then you're going to want to add that. Is there going to be internet in your virtual environment? Then you want to add that. How much processing power do you need in your virtual environment? How much memory? Are you going to be watching videos in the virtual environment, or you're going to need more memory? So all of those decisions should be made based on what you're going to do in your virtual environment. If you're not sure what to pick when it comes to these major subjects, look at the left side where they're recommending and start with that. As far as memory, I'm going to start with probably 4 gigs. I can start with 2 gigs. I'm going to start with the basics. All right, so we're going to leave all the custom recommended settings just to get started. So once that's all done, you can click close, and we have that set. We can click finish, and at this point it'll start creating our virtual machine. Just give it a few moments. Next thing is going to happen is your VMware is going to be about to run, and you're going to see right here Windows 11 64-bit, and basically it's asking you to install Windows 10 X as you would on a physical computer, and you're just going to click basically I'm finished installing. So we're going to click that here. All right, in the next steps, we're going to basically follow the same process you would need to follow if you're just using a USB bootable USB drive. In order to interact directly with VMware, you press Control G, and then you can actually control the keypad from there when you press Control G. And boom, you're going to go enter setup. Okay, in order to get out of it, if you need to do something while you're doing this, you're going to press Control Alt, and then your control will be back to your computer and outside the virtual environment. Okay, now we're going to basically go back into the virtual environment and we're going to go boot from file, press enter. Now the first thing is going to be selected up here, the first top one. You're just going to have that selected and press enter. It's going to take you to EFI. You're going to press enter. You're going to scroll down and press boot. And you're going to hit it one more time, boot 64-bit, then press any key. And we're going to allow Windows to start to boot up. Please be patient. All right, on the next screen, this is just a normal setup screen. So you just do the normal setup of any Windows computer, just put in all relevant information. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And we're gonna go ahead and click install now. And now Windows 11 is officially installing on a virtual environment. Now in this video, we're gonna assume that you have a version of Windows that either is free, you've downloaded, or you have the product key. If you don't worry, you can still use it. You're just gonna click I don't have the key and the install process will continue. So we have Windows 11 and Windows Enterprise. Select the version that's most suited for you. I'm going to select Pro, then click next, accept, next. Now, if you want to install your Windows operating system in a specific place, then you're going to select custom, and basically you're going to install it in the unallocated space. This is the 100 gigabytes that we created in our virtual drive. That's where it will be installed, the Windows. And we're going to just sit back and let it do its thing as it installs. All right, once the install is done, you're just going to fill in some basic information. I'm going to press yes. I'll select US, yes, skip that. Checking for updates, which we don't need to do. All right, so you can go ahead and select all your peripheral information, like what the name of your computer is. I'm gonna name my remote work. After that, Windows 11 is going to attempt to load up, so we're gonna wait on that. These are just some basic questions. We're gonna say it's for personal use. Press next. We're gonna click sign in options. We're gonna click offline. We don't want to sign in. If you do have a account with Microsoft, you can go ahead and just do it yourself. We're going to skip this for now. We're not interested in any Microsoft domain information. We're not interested in signing into Microsoft. So you could just say here again, I'm going with remote work. And obviously it seems here so what's the use of the device? You cannot use the same PC name that you selected. I selected remote work. So I'm just going to call it Workstation. That's going to be my use. Password, obviously you pick something you're going to remember. The confirmation. All right, just go ahead and pick some security questions. All right, once you get those in, go ahead and go to the next step. Now, as far as this data, I don't really want Microsoft keeping up with anything I'm doing. So I turn this off, but it's totally to your discretion. I don't want to send any data to them. I'm not interested in their advertising or anything of that nature. All right, so it looks like we're all good. We're almost at the finish line. All right, so after everything loads, you have officially installed Windows 11. I hope you enjoy. Hey, if you found this video valuable, go ahead and return the favor by liking and subscribing to this channel. If you subscribe, type the phrase "I subscribed" in the comment section below. Keep in mind, when you subscribe, it motivates us to continue to make these free videos. Lastly, if you enjoy learning about technology, entrepreneurship, or making money online, go ahead and check out my other videos on my other channel. Thanks for your support.